KWT slaying.
What if the truth was never lost, only buried? For centuries, historians, scholars, and even colonial records have confirmed what many tried to silence. The original Israelites were a black people scattered across continents but never erased. Their skin was dark, their customs ancient, and their covenant with Yah eternal. This journey uncovers how the Spanish and Portuguese Jews, described as dark-skinned, Semitic, shared one bloodline. Chased by the Inquisition, many fled to Portugal, then beyond, preserving their heritage across borders. But the story doesn't end in Iberia. Across from West Africa, black Jews built synagogues, kept Torah, and passed down the laws of Moses. The Limba in southern Africa, the Igbo in Nigeria, the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, tribes across the continent boldly declared, "We are the children of Israel." These aren't isolated claims. These are voices rising from the dust, connected by oral histories, Torah traditions, and the unbroken rhythm of their identity. No such legacy exists among European Jews. No centuries of tribal witness, no matching traditions, no trace of ancient covenant keeping. Maps, art, and archaeology tell the same story. The Israelites were scattered, enslaved, and displaced, but never lost. The world always knew who they were. Their presence was visible, their customs alive, their story intact. This book doesn't speculate. It confirms the Israelites were black, bound by blood, culture, and covenant to the Most High. This is not just history, it's restoration. The truth was never destroyed, only buried beneath centuries of deception. Get your copy of They Always Knew We Were Israelites today, available now on Amazon.com.
Shalom, family. Shalom, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So for those who haven't, let's see, where is it? How come this? Okay, right there. All right. So we're going to cover some things, from my viewpoint, prophetically, what I see happening and what I think is next. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. As I say, we see through a glass darkly. I never claim to be a prophet. I just show you what I see from the scriptures. If I'm correct about what's happening, 2026 to 2030 is going to be hell. I know y'all don't want to hear it. And I'm going to tell y'all what I think is happening. So we're going to get into this and discuss the changes that happened over Christmas, Christ Mass, right? But anyway.
Je vais m'excuser encore une fois de plus auprès de ceux que mes mots pourraient vexer, parce que je n'irai pas par le dos de la cuillère, nous allons nous attaquer encore aux mots qui miment l'Afrique. Vous avez certainement tous déjà entendu parler du printemps arabe. Ce phénomène qui a bouleversé la géopolitique du monde arabe, en commençant par le Maghreb en Afrique jusqu'en Asie, qui s'est manifesté avec des conséquences souvent désastreuses, des morts et des divisions par endroits, et des bouleversements politiques sans précédent dans d'autres endroits. Et je pense que tous les Africains devraient comprendre qu'est-ce que c'est que ce phénomène, d'où il vient, et qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour se prémunir d'un tel phénomène. Malheureusement, nous sommes au regret de constater que certains Africains ne se réveillent pas. Et ce que je vais dire n'est que ma pensée à moi, mon analyse, c'est qu'il y a quelque chose qui vient sur l'Afrique de l'Ouest, que j'ai appelé l'hiver noir. L'hiver noir arrive. Il sera un hiver très froid, un hiver sanglant, un hiver meurtrier. Vous allez me poser des questions, pourquoi? Eh bien, en fondant la Confédération de l'AES, nous avons senti ce froid venir. Et tous les jours que Dieu fait, nous nous évertuons à trouver des troncs d'arbres pour allumer un feu qui va réchauffer le cœur des Africains, un feu qui va réchauffer les mentalités et le sang des Africains pour nous unir autour. Nous nous sommes évertués également à faire la chasse aux loups pour essayer d'utiliser leur peau pour faire des manteaux pour nous protéger du froid de l'hiver. Nous nous sommes évertués à construire des montagnes, de grandes montagnes pour briser le vent de l'hiver qui devrait s'abattre sur nos communautés. Malheureusement, force est de constater que certains Noirs sont là tous les jours à arroser nos troncs d'arbres d'eau fraîche pour qu'ils ne puissent pas brûler. Ils se transforment en loups ou font en sorte que nous, chercheurs de loups, nous ne puissions pas surprendre le loup. Lorsque nous voulons construire nos montagnes, ils brisent les cailloux pour que nous ne puissions pas arriver. Pourtant, l'hiver arrive. Et quand l'hiver viendra, devrions-nous permettre à ceux-là qui combattent de venir se protéger avec nos manteaux qu'on a confectionnés, avec les montagnes qu'on a construites pour nous protéger des vents, ou encore se réchauffer avec nous autour du feu. Telle est la question qu'il faut qu'on se pose. Qu'adviendra-t-il donc du panafricanisme quand l'hiver viendra? L'hiver viendra parce que la guerre se transporte en Afrique de l'Ouest. Les impérialistes font tout pour mettre l'Afrique de l'Ouest à feu et à sang. Mais du sommet de l'État jusqu'à certaines populations, soit nous faisons semblant de ne pas voir venir le danger, ou bien nous sommes nous-mêmes complices de ce qui va arriver. Le chaos pourrait s'installer. Je dis bien pourrait s'installer. Beaucoup de gens pourraient mourir. Nous allons nous entretuer de manière tellement atroce que pendant ce temps, ils seraient là à piller nos richesses, à imposer leur volonté. Et ceux qui vont survivre de cette tragédie n'auront que deux choix. Soit s'unir pour toujours contre l'impérialisme ou se résumer à être des esclaves jusqu'à disparaître. Il faut donc se prémunir de l'hiver noir qui vient. Nous ne pouvons pas comprendre que les Noirs en Afrique de l'Ouest ici prient Dieu que les terroristes tuent des populations noires. Nous ne pouvons pas comprendre que des chefs d'État lâches se cachent derrière des médias, soi-disant médias, pour décourager, insulter, activer la haine entre les populations. Ces individus qui sont sur leur plateau, qui tous les jours du matin au soir crachent leur venin toxique pour attiser la haine entre les communautés, ils sont généralement très vilains, avec leur gueule de misérable. Ils ne savent que faire cela. Regardez-les bien. Ils sont là avec des yeux de drosophiles sauvages. Tous les jours, c'est cracher du venin. Ils cherchent à diviser les communautés. Sur les réseaux sociaux, ils sont là et ils sont nombreux. Pourquoi est-ce que nous, Noirs, cherchons à cultiver la haine entre nous? Et par hypocrisie, on se dit frère. Il faut que nous puissions nous dire la vérité de manière très crue, quitte à ce que ça vexe, on va s'excuser, mais il faut que nous nous réveillons. Pourquoi est-ce que le noir est comme ça? Pourquoi est-ce que nous ne pouvons pas voir le danger venir, nous unir et nous prémunir? Pourquoi est-ce qu'il faut que par nos comportements, nous allions affronter ces dangers qui risquent de nous décimer? Mais d'autres ont fermé les oreilles. Ils font semblant de ne pas entendre la politique de l'Autriche. Des peuples se complaisent dans la colonisation. Ils aiment cette domination. À peine s'ils n'appellent pas les impérialistes, venez nous coloniser. Nous aimons être vos esclaves. Nous nous posons souvent des questions lorsqu'on voit les réactions. Ces pseudo-intellectuels décérébrés qui sont là à longueur de journée à entamer des débats en toute indignité, en toute malhonnêteté, comme s'ils ne voient pas la réalité des exemples qui se présentent à nous. Il y a plein d'exemples. Lorsque la démocratie fait certaines choses contraires aux règles même qu'elle s'est fixées, ils ferment les yeux là-dessus. Mais ils sont prompts à nous appeler juntes ou putschistes. Mais soyez sûrs d'une chose, nous sommes unis et nous resterons unis. Et nous devons ouvrir les yeux. L'AES va évoluer. Tout n'est pas forcément rose. Tout ne peut pas aller au rythme que nous souhaitons. Mais nous avançons sereinement et nous allons arriver à notre objectif. Et quand viendra l'hiver, si il faille que nous passions par l'hiver pour être libres, pour être unis, nous prions Dieu qu'il en soit ainsi et qu'il protège nos populations. Sinon, une chose est sûre, l'AES vaincra, l'AES grandira. Restez sereins parce que nous avons confiance en nos populations. Nous avons confiance en vous, que vous compreniez qu'aucune manipulation ne peut aujourd'hui nous diviser entre nous. Aucune manipulation ne peut nous amener à haïr d'autres personnes. Aucune manipulation ne doit nous amener à riposter d'une manière violente, physique, face à ces individus qui n'ont absolument rien compris. Restez sereins, ne ripostez pas physiquement, nous riposterons par la communication jusqu'à ce qu'ils changent eux-mêmes de mode d'action et nous allons aussi riposter en fonction du mode d'action. Restez sereins, Dieu protégera l'AES. Dieu vous protège tous, toutes les populations de l'AES. Dieu vous accompagne tous dans vos objectifs. Et Dieu, qui est si juste, se bat pour ceux qui se battent. Nous nous battons. Nous sommes une population résiliente, la plus résiliente de la sous-région. Personne n'aurait cru que vous pouvez supporter ce que vous êtes en train de vivre. Nous allons vaincre le terrorisme, nous allons nous développer et nous allons nous affirmer. Nous allons avoir notre place dans le concert du monde.
Merci.
Oh. Let me translate what he was saying. Since I speak French now, I'm just joking. But as you all know, he was saying we're going to war against the West, against Europe, right? Y'all remember when Netanyahu said, we're going to liberate Africa next? Give me one if you remember that, when Netanyahu said, we're going to liberate Africa next. And it's no coincidence that Ibrahim and them are coming out, you know, with this information right now, right? Because what I believe is happening is that we're going to war, but it's not just Africa. It's going to be a world war. Here's the deal. It makes no sense to carry off or start a war in West Africa and at the same time start a war with Venezuela. at the same time start a war with China and start a war with Russia, this is going to be World War III. Okay. And as I mentioned before, what Trump and the Republicans have known since he got in office is that he was going to war against the world, but specifically black folks, which is why he put National Guard in black cities, because he had been preparing for this war against Africa and the world. He cannot allow for us to regain control over our resources, because then they lose influence over the world and over us. They literally lose the whole game if Africa takes control. If Africa becomes independent, self-reliant, the West goes into poverty. They can't allow it. So understand this. This has been planned, right, for a long time, and they have been preparing themselves and preparing us for what's about to come. And Ibrahim and the AES understand this. This is why the AES recently made Ibrahim Traore the leader of their alliance. And that's why they recently united their military to up to 5,000. Why? Because they know we're going to war. And we've been saying this for a long time. We're going to war. There is no ifs. There is no ands. There is no buts. We're going to war. Why? The modern society with their robots and their computers and their chips don't exist without Africa and without cheap resources. They believe they own Africa. The Most High's land. Now, why now? Why did Ibrahim come out and say there's going to be a black winter? He didn't say dark winter. He said black winter. Why? Because a bunch of black folks going to die. Blood in the streets. They're going to fight for their people. Now, as you all know, your boy Yakoba looking at this from a prophetic viewpoint. But at the same time, why now, right? Why did they form this meeting and Ibrahim give out the warning now? Because he knew what was coming. Well, what's coming, Yakoba? Well, you mean what's already here? It's already begun.
America has just bombarded Nigeria. In a wildest dream, many people never thought this was possibly possible. Many people thought this can never possibly happen. The United States of America of Donald Trump has struck Nigeria, targeting what they call terrorists, Boko Haram. The United States of America said they've been targeting ICE associates that are stationed and living peacefully in Nigeria. Let's get back on track. A while back, a pastor came out explaining how Nigerian Christians were being killed. He made a lot of noise. Many posts were published, especially on TikTok, where the president of the United States of America was tagged. The pastor was asking for help from Donald Trump. He was crying for help, saying, "We are being killed. We are being targeted. Please come and help us."
The Nigerian government came out openly and denied there is no massacre, there is no genocide of Christians in Nigeria. And look at it today. No government. Is there any Muslim here? No. United Nations, I know you're watching it. American Senate, you are watching what I'm doing, I'm saying here. Special advisor to Trump. Now, please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria.
Donald Trump shortly after came out and spoke very openly. He says if the Nigerian government doesn't do anything to protect Christians in the country, the United States of America will come gun blazing to destroy ISIS.
Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities.
What was the result? The result was Nigerians were up in arms, very angry. They were shouting, "How dare you talk about this? How can you come and violate a sovereign country?"
All right. So Nigeria is acting like they have nothing to do with this, right? Tinubu acting like his hands are tied. No, there's a backroom deal where Nigeria has allowed the U.S. to have drone flyovers, right, so that they can attack the terrorists. Now, if anyone understands how the power structure works, right, the colonists, the imperialists, they have to have an excuse, right? They have to come in as the rider on a white horse, right? They have to be the heroes. They have to be the Superman to come and save the day. And so that's why Trump, who doesn't care about Christianity, who never claimed to be a Christian, is now all of a sudden concerned about black Christians in Africa, right? Yeah, make it make sense. While the people in the Congo and in the Sudan are being murdered daily. But hey, I digress, right? Nobody cares about that, right? But people gonna fall for the con. The Christians are gonna say, well, we gotta have deliverance. Mr. Trump coming out. Look, I went into the chats, right? The comment sections, some of these videos. And some of these Africans are like, welcome, Mr. Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We need your help because they're killing Christians, Mr. Trump. Right? Africans inviting the imperialists who've been oppressing and killing them for centuries to come and help them out. Somebody make it make sense. But the West has to have a pretext, as they always have, to invade. And it's always under this disguise of humanitarianism. Sort of like when they came in there the first time. Let me tell you about Jesus. We're sending our missionaries in to tell you about Jesus. And they come in there and they tell you about Jesus, but not Yahushua, right? They tell you about the Jesus that they made up. The Jesus that is against Torah, not Yahushua, who is obedient to Torah. They twisted the scriptures to fit their own belief system and doctrine. But they framed it in such a way that the people who have the oracles of Yah, who y'all call Africans, right? Captain Tazariak, call them Hamites, the ignorance. The ignorance. All Africans are not Israelites, and all Israelites are African. But all Africans aren't Hamites, and all Hamites are African. So you got different ethnic groups within the continent of Africa that are Africans because they live on the continent of Africa. But the camps want to call them Hamites. Why? Because they're COINTELPRO. They're agents. This is why they keep pushing Latinos, Native Americans, Mexicans, and Indians being us. Makes no sense. But yet their claim to be Israeli or Israelites or Yasharal is based upon African history. Make it make sense. But they call them Hamites. That is a typical COINTELPRO methodology, and you repeat something enough, people are going to believe it, right? Just like they repeat the pretendians, right? Why is all of this happening? Why have the pretendians gained traction? Why is Tazariak going on the debate circuit? Why are all of the camps getting exposure? Why the ones who hate Africans being heard the loudest? Why do we keep hearing FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Because what they want is for most of the black community not to align with Africa and with Ibrahim and the Sahel states when this war kicks off. It's an obvious dialectic. It's an obvious psychological operation. They want you to deny being an African and say you're a Native American Indian, indigenous, because they don't want you aligning with Africa when they start bombing. They want you to align with foundational Black America, not because of reparations, but because they don't want you to unite with Africa when Africa starts getting bombed by the West. They want you to be anything but African. Have you noticed that? Because they knew that they were going to bomb Africa. They knew they were going in there. We showed you where they did the exercise under this false pretense of an attack in New York that would force them to go into Africa and invade. We've covered that years ago. But they changed the script up a little bit. Now they're going in as deliverers of Christians. The deliverers of the Christians. Even though Muslims are getting killed by Boko Haram and all of them too, or who they call ISIL or ISIS associates. Make it make sense. We're being played right and left. And many times by our own people, mind you, because they work for the dollar. Just like Tinubu, the leader of Nigeria, he works for the West. That's why they put Tinubu in office, because they knew they could get whatever they want, because he has a criminal record, from my understanding, mind. So basically, they're causing division so that what happened during the time that Ethiopia was getting invaded, during the time of Haile Selassie, and a lot of our people signed up to go fight with the Ethiopians, they don't want that. So they've been working on your mind this whole time, you FBA person, you foundational Black American, you ADOS, you pretendians, you Mexicans, you Latinos, who y'all claim to be Israel, but they don't have them same curses and judgments on it. Well, let nobody say you're not an Israelite. No, you're not an Israelite if them curses ain't on you. No, you're not an Israelite if you're not a descendant of slaves. No, you're not an Israelite if they not calling you by a byword. No, you're not an Israelite if you're not being hung from trees. No. But there's one thing that is interesting with all of this, and I've expanded my understanding a little bit prophetically. As you know, I believe that Ibrahim and the Sahel nations are representative of the four carpenters. But it's not just them. Because I was looking for the four, right? 1, 2, 3, and who's the fourth? No, that's not right. What I should have been looking for is what we're seeing right now, the movement. And why I say the movement? Well, let's go to it. We're going to go there right quick. Zechariah 1:18-21. Then I looked up, and there before me were 4 horns. I asked the angel who was speaking to me, what are these? So we know for a fact that the ones who scattered us was more than 4, right? So why 4 horns? Well, it's not numerical, it's symbolic. We got the 4 corners of the earth, which means the whole earth. We got the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, which means the whole earth. Right? 4 means completeness, a whole, right? So the four horns is the ones who scattered us amongst the four corners. It represents the globe. It represents the four directions. It represents completeness. He answered me, these are the horns that scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Well, who scattered us? It was more than four nations. He says, then Yahuwah showed me the four craftsmen. I asked, what are these coming to do? Once again, we're not dealing with the number four. We're dealing with the symbolic representation, which is four directions, the world, the globe. See, I was looking at four numbers. I like, okay, well, we got this one, we got that one, we got three. No, it's a multitude of nations who are participating in getting rid of the horns. Then Yahuwah showed me four craftsmen. I asked, what are these coming to do? He answered, these are the horns that scattered Judah so that no one could raise their head. But the craftsmen have come to terrify them and throw down these horns of the nations who lifted up their horns against the land of Judah to scatter his people. So we know for a fact there was many nations that scattered us, right? To the four corners, right? So that's why there's four horns. Now we have the four craftsmen, right? Which once again is completeness or the world. The four craftsmen, what did they come to do? He answered, these are the horns. Okay, the ones who scattered us, right? They scattered us, right? Who's that? France, Britain, Belgium, Denmark, all of these nations, right? We could go on, France, all this, right? America. So we have more than four, so we know it's a global scattering. We know scripturally it's a global scattering. But the craftsmen, how many craftsmen we have? Four. Once again, it's a global phenomenon that's going to happen. Have come to terrify them and throw down these horns of the nations who lifted up their horns against what? The land of Judah to scatter his people. Oh yeah, let's not forget Portugal and Spain. So the four craftsmen is going to also be involved in kicking them or terrifying them and kicking them out of the land. Well, what land? What land, family? Somebody tell me, what land are we talking about? It's the land that we were kicked out of. Where were we kicked out of, family? Was it America for you pretendians? From what land were we sent away on ships? What land? In chains, captives, to the four corners. Can we say Africa? So these craftsmen don't have to just be Africans, aka Israelites, but they could be the Africans, or aka Israelites, and their allies. Why? Because we're dealing with a global system. Right now, what do craftsmen do? Craftsmen comes, they tear things down and build it back up again, right? Come on now. Craftsmen, they tear things down and they build it back up again. So the craftsman has come to terrify them, kick him out, tear down the imperialist system, throw down these horns. Horns mean authority, the authority of the imperialist nations, who lifted up their horns against the land, took our gold, took our silver, took our resources, and scattered his people. Come on now, tell me, did that sound like Native American Indians to you? Did that sound like Latinos to you, Mexicans to you? Does that sound like the Revelation 2939, folks? In my opinion, and I'm going to show you prophetically why I've come to my conclusion. We are at the cusp, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not the Most High, and I don't claim to be a prophet. But we are at the threshold of our deliverance. Let me repeat that. We are at the threshold of our deliverance, which is tied to World War III, which is tied to the invasion and destruction of Babylon, Jeremiah 50:51. We've been through those a lot. But I'm going to show you something that I've dealt with for a while, and now I think it makes sense. But we'll see as time moves forward. Isaiah 18. Now pay attention to this. Pay close attention because I think this is relevant. Woe to the land of whirring wings along the rivers of Cush, which sends envoys by sea in papyrus boats over the water. So there's these people coming over the water. The land of whirring wings along the rivers of Cush, that's where the messengers come from, or envoys. The envoys are coming from an area along the rivers of Cush where there's whirring wings. So I'm thinking, not saying I'm right, and I got my opinions about some of this, that these envoys, just my opinion, I'm going to put it how I think I see it. I'm not saying I'm right. And I'm going to show you why I believe what I believe. But woe to the land of whirring wings, right? Which is a connection to, in my opinion, to America, right? The eagles and the eagle's wings. Now, why are they along the rivers of Cush? I'm going to tell you why I believe they're coming from that direction. Because America has a base in Djibouti, as well as other nations like China and stuff like that. And I believe that these envoys are representing America. And I'm going to show you why. Go swift messengers to a people tall and smooth-skinned, to a people feared far and wide, an aggressive nation of strange speech, whose land is divided by rivers. Who else could that fit, family? Okay, you got these white folks, smooth-skinned. You could call it what you want. Processed skinned, white, bright, almost white, whatever. And these are people who are feared far and wide. What people are smooth skinned and they feared far and wide? They feared far and wide. What nation that's not only feared far and wide, but are an aggressive nation of strange speech? They speak English. Whose land is divided by rivers. What other nation fits this description? Smooth-skinned, feared far and wide. They're an aggressive nation. Strange speech. Whose land is divided by rivers. Now remember, we were going to go into captivity in a land who we don't understand their language. What land is that, family, besides Britain? But what land has an aggressive nation with strange speech and feared far and wide? It's America. Whose land is divided by rivers? Look at a U.S. map and look at the rivers. All you people of the world. Now the message is going to the world now. This affects the world. All you people of the world, you who live on the earth, the whole world. When a banner is raised on the mountains, you will see it. Can we say World War, family? Pay attention. All you people of the world, you who live on the earth, When a banner is raised on the mountains, you will see it. You raise a banner to declare war. Oh, we're going somewhere with this today. And it's a world war because the message is to the world and the people who live on the earth. Can we say World War III? And when a trumpet sounds, you will hear it. When the trumpet sounds, we're going to war. What did Ibrahim just do? He blew the trumpet. We're about to have a bloody battle. A bunch of people going to die. Pay close attention because this is very important to our deliverance. This is what Yahuwah says. I will remain quiet and will look on from my dwelling place like shimmering heat in the sunshine, like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For before the harvest, when the blossom is gone and the flower becomes a ripening grape, he will cut off the shoots with pruning knives and cut down and take away the spreading branches. Can we say imperialism? Can we say expansionism? He's going to cut down and take away the spreading branches. Expansionism, imperialism. He's going to take down those who have scattered us and taken over our land, according to Zechariah 1. They will all be left to the mountain birds of prey and to the wild animals. The birds will feed on them all summer, the wild animals all winter. Can we say a black winter? Now pay close attention to this. At that time, gifts will be brought to Yahuwah from a people tall and smooth skinned. Can we say America? What is this gift, family? The tall and smooth skins are the people who are aggressive, they're feared by many nations. Their lands are divided by rivers. From a people tall and smooth skinned, from a people feared far and wide, an aggressive nation of strange speech. Remember, we're going to a place we don't know their language. We're going in captivity. We wouldn't know their language. Whose land is divided by rivers. Can we say America? So the gifts are coming from America. What gifts is that? The gifts will be brought to Mount Zion, the place of the name of Yahuwah. So the place that has a bunch of smooth-skinned folks whose people are feared far and wide. America's feared, right? Everybody's scared of America. An aggressive nation, they're an aggressive nation. Strange speech to our people is strange. They speak English. And America is divided by rivers. The gifts will be brought to Mount Zion. What gifts, family? Y'all ready to go home? I'm ready. So the banner was raised. There's a war. And a gift from these violent people is being brought back to Mount Zion. Oh, yeah, baby. Isaiah 11:10-12. In that day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the peoples. The nations will rally to him, and his resting place will be glorious. In that day, Yahuwah will reach out his hand a second time. Can we say the second Exodus? To reclaim the surviving remnant of his people from Assyria, from Lower Egypt, from Upper Egypt, from Cush, from Elam, from Babylonia, from Hamath, and from the islands of the Mediterranean. He will what? Raise a banner for the nations. Who the banner for? He will raise a banner for the nations and gather who? The exiles of Israel. Who? He will assemble who? The scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. What happened in Zechariah 1? The horn scattered us to the four corners. What happened in Zechariah chapter 1? The four carpenters dealing with the four corners are going to not only kick out and terrify them out of the land, but they're going to deal with them because they scattered us. So they're terrifying them out of the land that we were taken captive from. Jeremiah. Well, let me continue here. I'll get back to that. Isaiah 49:22. This is what Yahuwah says. See, I will beckon to the nations. I will lift up my banner to the peoples. They will bring your sons in their arms and carry your daughters on their hips. Now, remember, a gift is being brought back by the smooth-skinned people to Mount Zion. When the banner is lifted. When the banner is lifted. Let me go back here just so y'all get it. Isaiah 18, right? All you people of the world who live on the earth, when a banner is raised on the mountains, you will see it. Why? Because we're going to war. What happens later after we go to war? A gift is brought by the smooth-skinned people. Let's go back. Isaiah 11. He will raise a banner for the nations. Why? Because we're going to war. And then what? He's going to gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. Isaiah 49. See, I will beckon to the nations. I will lift up my banner to the peoples. They will bring your sons in their arms and carry your daughters on their hips. Can we say a gift? Brought back to Zion. There's a lot of things going on in these scriptures that we need to pay attention to, right? And our people also need to stop giving away our heritage. I can tell you that much, right? But the banner is lifted because there's war. And during that time, we go home. Oh. Isaiah 62:10 and 11. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people. Who? Prepare for who? Who we looking for? Prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway, remove the stones, raise a banner for the nations. They raise banners when they go to war. Iran does it to this day. Yahuwah has made a proclamation to the ends of the earth. Say to the daughter of Zion, see your Savior comes. See his reward is with him and his recompense accompanies him. So what happens? Yahusha's coming to what? Get the daughter of Zion to save his people and pay recompense, family. Come on now. So at the time the banner is raised for the nations, Yahuwah proclaimed to the end of the earth, and there's war, as we saw in Isaiah 18, at the ends of the earth or the world. Because it started by these smooth-skinned people who are feared by everyone, whose land is divided by rivers, who's going to bring a gift back to Yahuwah. And Isaiah 11 said, your people returning. Isaiah 62 says the banner's raised, and guess what? Your people coming home, and at the same time, I'm paying recompense. Come on now. Joel chapter 3. In those days and at that time, when I restore the fortunes of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Some translations say decision. There I will put them on trial for what they did to my inheritance, my people Israel. Because they scattered my people among the nations and divided up my land, they cast lots for my people and traded boys for prostitutes. They sold girls for wine to drink. So just as the 4 carpenters are coming to kick them out and build up the places, why? Because the people returning. The 4 carpenters, the craftsmen, have to go in there, get rid of the imperialists, kick them out the land, and rebuild things so that the gifts that's coming will have a place to stay. Remember, we're going into the wilderness. Now, what have you against me, Tyre, Sidon, and all you regions of Philistia? Are you repaying me for something I've done? If you're paying me back, I will swiftly and speedily return on your own head what you have done. For you took my silver and my gold and carried off my finest treasures to your temples. You sold the people of Judah and Jerusalem to the Greeks that you might send them far from their land. Is that not what we saw in Zechariah 1? See, I'm going to rouse them out of the places to which you sold them, and I will return on your own heads what you have done. I will sell your sons and daughters to the people of Judah, and they will sell them to the Sabaeans and a nation far away. Yahuwah has spoken. Proclaim this among the nations. Prepare for war. Can we say the banners are lifted when it's times for war? Iran does it to this until this day. They raise a banner when it's time for war. Proclaim this among the nations. Prepare for war. Rouse the warriors. Raise the banner. Let all the fighting men draw near and attack. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weakling say, I am strong. Come quickly, all you nations, from every side, and assemble there. Bring down your warriors. The banner is raised. It's time for war, family. It's going to be a world war. Let the nations be roused. Let them advance into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Can we say decision? This is the time of decision. For there I was set to judge all nations on every side. Why? Because they're coming against Yahuwah's land. Swing the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, trample the grapes, for the winepress is full, and the vats overflow. So great is their wickedness. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahuwah is near in the valley of decision. The sun and moon will be darkened, and the stars no longer shine. Yahuwah will roar from Zion and thunder from Jerusalem. The earth and heavens will tremble, but Yahuwah will be a refuge for his people, a stronghold for the people of Israel. War and deliverance. The raising of the banner. Jeremiah 29:14, I will be found by you, declares Yahuwah, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all nations and places where I have banished you, worldwide, declares Yahuwah, and will bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile. Where were we carried away in exile, family? Somebody let me know. I remember when I first taught on this, I had people saying, well, where are we going? Where are we going? I think we know where we're going, right? The banner's being lifted. That's what I'm seeing. I think it's all prophetic fulfillment. As Brother Kara said, West Africa. West Africa. Africa. Not from America. America's not the homeland. Y'all don't even fit the prophecy, pretendians. Now, this one here is interesting that I'm about to cover. A lot more interpretation. but it could be right. And it is Daniel 11:40-45. At the time of the end, the king of the south will engage him in battle, and the king of the north will storm out against him with chariots and cavalry and a great fleet of ships. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. He will also invade the beautiful land. That's Africa. Remember, we're going back to the place we're taken from. They're going to be judged on the mountains of Israel, just like they are in Ezekiel 38, even though this isn't Ezekiel 38. I know some people teach this is Ezekiel 38 happening. It's not. Many countries will fall, but Edom, Moab, and the leaders of Ammon will be delivered out of his hand, from his hand. Now, I have my opinion on who they are, and it makes sense to me, but I ain't gonna get there because some people get upset. Y'all already know some of y'all. He will extend his power over many countries. Egypt will not escape. He will gain control of the treasures of gold and silver and all the riches of Egypt, with the Libyans and the Cushites in submission. But reports from the east and the north will alarm him, and he will set out in a great rage to destroy and annihilate many. He will pitch his royal tents between the seas at the beautiful holy mountain, yet he will come to his end and no one will help him. Now, I'm just going to give you my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not a prophet. I'm a teacher. I'm guessing, right? I see through a glass darkly. But I'm going to tell you, for me, this gives me the feel here of Donald Trump. Not only that, the area where they're going to pitch their royal tents, right, I believe is Djibouti, because Djibouti is, you know, we already have a base there. Other countries have bases there too. But he's going to pitch his tent between the beautiful land, right, and the sea. He pitches royal tents between the seas and the beautiful holy mountain. That's Zion. Y'all know where I believe Zion is. I believe this is more than likely Djibouti. That they're going to have a command center. What are command centers for? When you're at war. They're going to set up their command center in Djibouti. My opinion. Not your beauty. Not your beauty is your booty. I'm surprised you didn't say it's not your booty. Let me stop. But understand this, that it appears that their expansionist policies are going to be hindered. And I believe that we are going to world war, and they have been preparing for world war. And I believe that's why Ibrahim and the Sahel Alliance is saying that there's going to be a lot of bloodshed, because they knew what was happening. So now Trump has invaded Nigeria by attacking the terrorists there. Has Chad joined AES? I haven't heard anything. That would be cool. But understand that they have been preparing for this. Why? Because they can never, repeat after me, never, forever, ever allow Africa to be free. You allow Africa to be free, Africa will control the world. We're already faster than them, stronger than them, smarter than them. We're just not as wicked as them. But if they let their foot up, we will never go back down. They don't want what happened when the Moors controlled Europe to happen again globally. And this is why they've been planning these things for a long time. And I got another teaching that's coming up. And I'm going to be talking about how the Romans took over Jerusalem. And you're going to see a lot of similarities to today. They don't really talk about these things. And when you understand the value and the history of what Rome was doing, you're going to know for sure that I'm 100% correct on where the true Zion is located. Because that dirt in the Middle East makes no sense. None. Zero. Nada. Zip. So what they did, they prepared things for the war. They put National Guards in black cities. Why? Because they're going to war against Africa. They're going to war against Venezuela. They will go to war against Iran. Why? If they're going to do it, they got to do it all at once. They can't decide, hey, we're going to have a Vietnam and Venezuela and allow Africa to continue separating. And definitely the Revelation 2939 are not going to allow Iran to continue to go unassaulted while they build their, BOMBs. Which is why Netanyahu said, we're going to come and deliver you, send some deliverance to Africa. We're going to deliver Africa next. From who? Black folks. See, what most people don't understand is that the Rev 29s and 39s are Romans. They're Romans. Repeat after me. They're Romans. Who's behind all of this? Romans. Who's behind our captivity and oppression? Can we say the Vatican, Holy Roman Empire? This is what people don't realize. Everything is fabricated. It's always been one enemy. Romans. The Romans. Repeat after me, family. Who's your enemy? The Romans. Who are the Anglo-Saxons? Romans. Who was Onculus? A Roman convert that the Rev 29s and 39s love very much. But understand this. This is why they had to put in the new system. This is why they had to put in the artificial intelligence. This is why they had to put in or start putting in the digital IDs. This is why they have to put in the global lockdowns. This is why they're talking about universal basic income. Because after this war, everything's going to change and they have to have everything locked down. Because if they don't have the system already in place to keep you in place, there will be nothing but global chaos and people might end up becoming free. See, through times of chaos and war, it's usually times of change and freedom. It's our freedom in their captivity. Everything is aligning. Now, is Donald Trump the Antichrist? I don't know. He sure looked like he could be. I just don't know. Time will tell, but he sure looked like he could be.
Tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it.
There are like 7 million American men who make their living driving today in one form or another. Those jobs are gone in the next half decade.
Where do those people go?
I think that's when you start to see these calls for universal basic income.
The president said what they tried to deny.
AI will take millions of jobs. And UBI isn't some future idea anymore. It's the backup plan. But what happens when your survival depends on a system you don't control? What happens when someone else decides where and how you can spend the money you have in your pocket? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video, and I think we have to start with something people are completely glossing over: an admission from the president about what's actually coming.
You can have robots, but you're going to have to get somebody to start those robots, and you're going to have to improve the robots, but we're going to have robotic factories plus manpower. So we're going to have enough. We're going to need the help of robots and other forms of, I guess you could say, employment. We're going to be employing a lot of artificial things, but the beauty is we're going to have more jobs than we've ever had.
He straight up says we'll just use robots to work in factories and handle jobs that require physical labor. Think about that for a second. He is not talking about Silicon Valley coders. He's talking about blue-collar jobs. And that's why this clip shocked so many people, because up until now, we were told AI was only coming for white-collar work, office jobs, middle-class careers.
You've said AI could wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20% in the next 1 to 5 years.
Yes,
that's shocking.
That is the future we could see, and my worry is that it'll be broad and it'll be faster than what we've seen with previous technology.
The Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, on Wednesday released a study that found that artificial intelligence can already replace 11.7% of the U.S. labor market. Walmart, Paramount, UPS, YouTube, and Meta have all announced new rounds of layoffs attributable to AI, with nearly 1 million job cuts nationwide this year.
Anytime someone warned about millions of jobs getting wiped out, these so-called experts would smugly respond, "Why don't you learn a trade? Why don't you join the labor force?"
I have a lot of respect for people who work with their hands, and we need electricians and plumbers and carpenters. That's a lot more important than having incremental political science majors, I think. I think we should not have this idea that to be successful you need to have a 4-year college. That is simply not true.
Well, we're going to have to build these magnificent factories. Magnificent factories for chips, for packaging, for these AI supercomputers, but also for these factories that are producing digital intelligence. All of these factories requires extraordinary skilled craft. This is something that our country needs to really celebrate, that the skilled craft professions are severely under-resourced. We just don't have nearly enough of them. Plumbers, electricians, technicians, networking technicians, building out these incredible factories. We need a lot of them, hundreds of thousands of them.
That propaganda worked. A lot of young people actually skipped college and went straight into manufacturing and skilled trades.
As the average cost of college in the United States soars, more young people are being drawn to skilled trades. It's part of a career rethink among Gen Z, who've been called the tool belt generation.
I'm Antonio. I'm 19 years old. I do asphalt.
Hey guys, I'm at work. It's 4:41 and I leave at 5, so I gotta hurry up and get this wheel liner in.
A career in skilled trade jobs is becoming a hit amongst the unlikeliest demo, Gen Z.
And let's be honest, most college degrees are a scam. They exist to saddle people with debt for life. So no one complained about kids skipping college to find work. But now even those so-called safe jobs are on the chopping block. We already know corporations like Amazon are gearing up to cut massive portions of their workforce and replace humans with machines.
This morning, concerns that Amazon, the second largest private employer in the country, is planning one of the biggest workplace transformations in modern history. The New York Times, citing leaked documents, reports Amazon expects sales to double by 2033, growth that would normally require 600,000 more workers. But the company is reportedly looking to fill those jobs with robots.
Everything that moves will be robotic. Every car, every tractor, every excavator, of course, there's going to be robotic manipulators in factories, robotic movers for moving inventory around. There will be robotic humanoid robots that are very general purpose. We're going to see robotic systems of all different kinds. They're going to be in hospitals doing robotic surgery. They're going to be in factories building things. They're going to be in farms doing agriculture.
Delivery drivers already on the way out.
Amazon just announced customers can now get even more delivered right to their door in 60 minutes or less thanks to Prime Air drone delivery program. In eligible areas, customers can select drone delivery at checkout, and now, thanks to new permissions from the Federal Aviation Administration, Prime Air is adding lithium-ion battery-powered products to its selection of items available for drone delivery.
Cab drivers, same story. Autonomous vehicles are taking over. And trucking, that industry is staring down the same future as self-driving trucks roll out nationwide.
That thing paints.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a Kenworth. Holy shit.
Now, maybe you'll be okay if you're a plumber or a mechanic, but let's be real for a second.
So as you can see, there will be no jobs. You will be on universal basic income, and the deadline is 2030, and they're moving very fast. Now, imagine what will happen in 2026. Remember when Trump came into office and how he was on this aggressive campaign to get rid of DEI and, wokeism and firing a whole bunch of folks, right? And he was moving swift. Imagine what he's going to do with this war, right? With 2026. He's going to move very fast. Why? But why are they moving so fast? Because they got a deadline. Agenda 2030. That's why I don't expect at all anything but increased mayhem, increased chaos. And with silver at $79, the dollar's going to crash. What I'm going to do is, since it's Friday, I'm going to put the link out there if y'all want to come out here. I'm not going to pin it because I don't plan on being on that long. Well, what do you think, family? What do you think? You think we're about to hit World War III? You think we're about to go into global lockdown? Do you think they're going to target the Israel Alawi? Do you think that you're going to have a job by 2030? In my opinion, y'all know my opinion. I told y'all last time what my opinion is. Hey, Timmy, how's it going? Welcome back.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So a lot has happened. I want to thank you very much. I was able to get in touch with Fast Nickel. I actually started investing in digital currency. And another thing is I'm about to travel.
Yeah, what happened? You muted yourself, Timmy. You muted yourself.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm about to travel to Ethiopia next year, coming for I think it's February to March. And I know you went there, and so I just want to.
I haven't gone to Ethiopia. I haven't. No.
Who was it that went to Ethiopia in your group? Was your brother?
I forgot. No, my brother hasn't gone to Ethiopia.
Who traveled over there and did that intensive study? I forgot.
Oh, you're talking about what's his name? Nick. I think you're
Nick.
talking about Nick.
Yeah, I'd like to get in touch with you. I have never been in East Africa, and I just need like somebody with wisdom and where to go, and like price exchange, and do they do like credit cards? Do they do currency? I don't know because I don't have nobody over there, so I'm gonna be going by myself, and none of my family members have interest in going over there, so I'm actually traveling by myself.
What do we do?
Okay. All right. Anything else, Timmy? I'm gonna move on.
Oh, and I just wanted to say thank you very much, and much blessing to all of you, and hopefully everything goes well going into this year. We should have a deep prayer protection for the remnants because there's a lot going on, and we don't know what the future is going to bring to us. So my first worry is for the young people who are trying to make it. This job market is killing everybody.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Timmy, for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, Pierre. Hello, Pierre. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. How's it going?
All good, man. It's a long time no speak.
So what you think about all this?
I think you're right on point, man. I think you're right on point. And been keeping up with President Ibrahim and the three Sahels. My handle on the chat is Lucilla's. I was the one that put in I asked you what did you think about Chad joining the AES? And
yeah, so did they? What happened?
Yeah, they joined them economically, and they're applying for full official citizen, full membership. So we know that Ibrahim and the other two states. I hear some feedback. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I keep hearing some feedback. Ibrahim, the three, Mali, Burkina, and Niger, they pretty much got them a NATO type pact. If you attack one, you attack all. And I think the fact that Chad is coming in will be a game changer because that allows them access to the sea. And you can ship and receive goods and products via Chad. And that will also allow them to get war material coming in and out. Because of course, those three are landlocked, which then means to me that will allow them to have sustaining power, which I don't think these other surrounding nations are going to be standing too long, and they're going to follow the way of the AES. So that's giving them staying power, and I think that the West, the United States, have noticed what's about to happen, and they don't want that to happen because Chad is a game changer. It will be a game changer. So that will allow them staying power until the rest, in my opinion, to the rest of the African nations come around to join. So, in my opinion,
as someone said, Chad is landlocked. So,
I was thinking, Yacoba, I thought that Chad was right there on the sea, and it gives them access to the sea.
Yeah, that's Sudan. I would think you might.
No, I'm talking about on the West Coast.
Is he talking about
Chad
Ghana?
Is not. Yeah, Ghana does, and Benin has access to the sea, but not Chad.
Okay. Well, in all that respect, you're right. I'm looking at it on the other side. You're right. Still on that respect, I think the fact that Chad is coming in will still give them. It still is a game changer, and I apologize.
So let me ask you: Is Chad joining AES, or are they just working with him?
Look, they're coming into AES. They're getting rid of the they're joining them economically, and they're applying for official membership of the AES.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and I apologize, guys, for that, because my geography,
it's no big deal.
Yeah.
We all get confused sometimes.
My geography was off there. But also I wanted to say that I think the picking of the American Pope was strategic, because I think he's going to just sign off on this going to war type thing. I really do think that that's part of the strategy.
And let me ask you, because he's sort of half black, if they persecute us, it's not going to be a big deal, right?
Hey,
because he's partially black.
Of course. There was one other point I wanted to make, but I'll yield the floor to others. I forgot what the other point was going to be.
All right. So anything else? Because I'm removing people from the live once they finish talking. So that it.
I think that's it. I think that's it. But thank you, man.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Pierre. Appreciate it. Brother Karras.
Hey, shalom, everybody. Now, Shabbat shalom, everyone, as the sun's going down. What's going on, Brother Yacoba, Brother Doug, Minister Rick, 1619 Brood. Just to kind of clarify with what our brother Pierre was saying. So Chad is landlocked. They have Lake Chad, but they also have different accesses to the regions, because Lake Chad is locked in with Nigeria and Cameroon. Obviously, in Nigeria is kind of a they have some issues going on right here. But then I kind of wanted to touch on is, do they really have issues? And what will in my opinion, what will the next really 72 to 96 hours look like? Because again, Nigeria is a wild, they're the wild card. So don't sleep on Nigeria, because they don't want to be involved. And this may be that credence for them to have an uprising of sorts. But before I get going,
they're going to turn against Tinubu?
They could. They absolutely could. Or, Tinubu, says, hey, well, I took your money and you're not doing anything. That's usually what the Nigerians do too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Nigerians. That's, it's just all love. But, I do also want to mention something, because, Minister Rick had said something. No, due to tariffs, I am not able to bring in anti-captivity spray. So for all my Gentiles that are out there that's panicking, I don't know what to tell you.
They should have got the order last year. Then
they should have got it last year. Look, it was on out there. We had it, I think, in vanilla sheets and cotton towels, something like that. It was actually pretty okay. But to kind of touch on just a few more points on this one, the AES actually also does have shipping, and I showed that when I went over to Ghana. They have the Burkinabe Shipping Council. And so when I tell you about the journey of going over to Burkina Faso, of delivering the container over to the Burkinabe government, to Bogodogo University Hospital, and that's who I sat down and met with, was the managing physician. He's the director of the hospital of Bogodogo University Hospital. Those interactions, they speak volumes, because again, how we manage in this system, in this situation, it is really about building up that relationship. And one of the things that I said on in there, and I think even Pierre, he had asked about Valhalla. And I said I may touch on this on Monday, but I'll bring this on up because, Jacob, I think you probably would like to, give a little bit more attention to this. So remember during the CK incident, and in September, and we'll just call it that, the CK incident. And you know, the pew pew, and then the FBI director Kash Patel, and he said something about seeing Valhalla, brother, and everybody was like, "That's weird. Why would he say seeing Valhalla, brother?" Because that to them, that is their holy war. And if you're now understanding their
So it's Ragnarok,
mystical,
right?
yes, their mystical eschatology. Yes, their Ragnarok is what, a day of reckoning, and that day of reckoning, you know, they never give you a full story of what that day of reckoning looks like. It's just that everybody meets and then everybody dies. Well, that sounds
Yeah.
good. You know what I'm saying? That sounds good if you don't want to be held accountable for, you know, now, here's the kicker. Now African nations coming against European countries. And I don't know if people had saw this because this literally just happened today. Algeria set the stage for having France pay reparations to Algeria for colonization. Ooh, their
So
parliament
let me
just
ask
voted
you,
on that.
when the West loses this war, this World War III against Russia, China, and Africa, do you think that when they lose, all of this is going to come back, like Algeria going to be involved in Africa? They all going to be calling for reparations, and this is what's going to force them to pay reparations?
No, they're all going to be calling for reparations. This is now what you see, because Algeria will then attach that to so the way that the African Union works, you have to have, just like what you see in Ghana. Ghana had the 17th region. That 17th region actually then gives more oomph to the AU 6th region, because the AU, we have a 6th region. However, it doesn't really give any type of regional credence because it really hasn't been formally adopted by a lot of nations. The only nation that you see that kind of sort of did that was Burkina Faso earlier this year. Now with Ghana and recognizing the 17th region, which is the African diaspora, you now actually have a regional and even territorial claim that on paper, that gives us access to the continent on paper. Now, their next step is going to have to be, well, do you have a Ghanaian card? We have a non-resident Ghanaian card. We have a resident Ghanaian card, right? What do you do? Because here's the thing, even for me, I came on over there, I had my passport, and I was able to get a Ghanaian card. They said, oh, you need to have your passport. Okay, cool. Actually, the way I went there was, it was janky. So I had to kind of do some things, but I had my passport. My passport was turned in, but I had my birth certificate. I brought my birth certificate with me. They said, cool, that's all you need. And then I had my driver's license just for, another bit of a facial ID to match up with my birth certificate, and they processed that. And a lot of folks had asked, like, how did you get that so quickly? It took people a couple, months to do things like that. Well, the Most High just has me do things. I don't even know how they match on up, but it matches on up, and I'm telling you how this thing works. And the reason why we're having now a little bit more leniency is because, again, whenever you do go to war, you're now getting these are avenues of communications or lines of communication that we're establishing. Because one of the avenues of approach is that we leaving here, again, as you had stated this, when America loses, and I say when America loses, who's going to stick around? Nobody's going to stick around. Does anybody remember when the Germans lost? The Germans were literally in austerity and having to pay reparations until when? What, 2010? People don't understand. Germany was not a great place to visit back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was only after the war, the Berlin Wall fell down, and then people said, "Oh, Germany is nice," and then they started the EU shortly thereafter. So
let me ask you, Brother Care.
Yes.
We going to war, World War III, or what? What you think happening?
I think World War III already started back in 2022.
Well, that's true. I mean, but the guns are blazing.
Yeah, you're just gonna see the buildup is now happening because again, the U.S. is in trouble, and it's not just the U.S. is in trouble. EU is in trouble, and interestingly enough, think about this now. Interestingly enough, do you know that Saudi Arabia and UAE literally fired on each other via their own proxies in Yemen? So now Yemen's being destabilized, and that actually destabilizes now the Red Sea corridors. I don't know how you want to say it. They probably did it on purpose because, again, what you do is, oh, I'm fighting over here, so I need to keep all my oil, right? I need to keep all my resources. So you're now starting to see that probably by the end of this month, in the next couple of days, oil is going to skyrocket, which is why they try to do things with Venezuela. You're going to have regional resource constraints that's going to be levied in a whole lot of these places. And that is why they're not going to tell you what ends up happening. You literally have to see other parts of the world to truly understand how this whole geopolitical component takes shape. And that doesn't just go for the Middle East. That also goes for Greenland. That also goes for Taiwan. That also goes for India, South Asia, you name it. Everybody's trying to figure out where would that resource input be when things are literally collapsing. And again, yes, gold and silver are those indicators that I don't want to speculate the time frame, but let's just face it. We ain't got long. We don't have long. So that's all I got to say. Thank you, Brother Yacoba, for having me on. And y'all have a blessed Shabbat.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Brother Care. Minister Rick.
Yes, I absolutely agree that World War III is coming. And even as Terrace has said, it's pretty much already began. I have the questions, and you don't have to answer today, but in subsequent talks. I know more about people doing work on the continent and who to help in that way to get things done there than I know who to unite with and do some work on this side. I stay in Chicago in the United States. We know that the operatives and those people are running over here, and you outlined some of those organizations. But what is the Hebrew Israelite community doing here? One, to prepare us for getting over there, and two, for helping our people in the interim as we go together through some of the things we have to.
So let me ask you this: aren't you on the QTUA board?
Yeah, I'm involved. I've been involved with QTA. Mostly, I've been sending money, but I haven't been actively involved in a lot of other things.
Hey, Brother Karras, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here in the background.
Do you want to answer Minister Rick's question about what we're doing behind the scenes trying to help our people?
Well, again, what we just sent on over to Burkina Faso was a medical shipping container.
I mean, between us and Sister Shonda, Pastor Rick.
Domestically, what do you need us to do domestically for prepare on this side for getting over there?
Well, here's the thing. We're setting up a partnership with Yah Storehouse. Q2A has been working on the administering of supporting the mission to help with our people. And I know that Pastor Rick Fletcher and Sister Malaka have been instrumental in really getting the concept of Yah Storehouse down. However, in terms of the bigger construct, the bigger, I would say, solution to this is Q2A then supporting those efforts for Yah Storehouse with the 501c3 that then helps with large tax deductible gifts and donations to help support our people in this time of need that will be coming relatively soon, if not now. So
Yes.
shout out to
So
our
I think we
QQA
had
family.
what three?
Go
We had
ahead.
3 meetings on that, right, Karis?
Yes, we have.
I think
So
we had
we're
3.
Yes, so there's still, again, there's still a lot of legalese that we have to process with that, and I want to make sure that we have a lot of those components together and our volunteers are ready to help support that. So I'm anticipating that probably sometime around I would say in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to have our volunteers at Q2A be able to support those grant initiatives. And that's what we would do on our end. Now, if you are someone that has a background in finance, please sign up to be a volunteer at q2a.org. That's q2a.org. And I know, Jacoba, you and I literally just had this discussion, like 2 days ago. So that's something that, yes, we are actively looking at. And again, we're going to make it happen, and it's going to be in the Most High's will and the Most High's timing. And when we roll this on out, we'll roll this on out to be able to further articulate, right, the processes, the rules, restrictions, things of that nature, and how we'll be able to support the community. So these are a lot of the things that we do in the background. So when you have these channels and ministry partners that say, hey, please support, please do this, please do that, this is what we're doing in the background. We're not just here, giving you stories and things of that nature. No, we're also making sure that we're doing the mission of the Most High to support his people. And that's what shepherds do. This is what the faithful shepherds do. But again, we need the help and the support of our people to be able to get these programs off and going. So when that next government shutdown happens, when that next situation and catastrophe happens, trust me, there are things I'm doing at different levels. And when I say at different levels, I'm talking about levels that's reaching the AU type of levels. And I can't go into any details like that. But understand that these are the conversations that I'm having. So we're showing our body of work, because again, think about this. They can't really trust us. Do you see this happening? So when you're looking at all this FBA stuff, that's what I'm contending with when I'm having these phone calls. That's what they're looking at when they're talking to me. Oh, well, I'm a foundational Black American. My family's from Virginia, South Carolina,
from all those agents.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Blackfoot, Cherokee foot, Pigfoot. You know what I'm saying? With some hot sauce, not a hot sauce. You gotta have that with and some cornbread. And this
All
is
right, so
yeah.
So thank you, Brother Karis. I'm gonna let Minister Rick continue, but
okay, so
I wanted him to know that.
Go ahead.
I wanted Minister Rick to know that we've been talking behind the scenes and setting things up. And Yah Storehouse is still doing stuff today, but we're trying to make things a little bit more efficient. Right. And, we're going to need y'all support, because we do know what's coming, and we're trying to set up mechanisms to support the family. Right. Because if we don't support each other, nobody's going to support us.
So Yah Storehouse
right,
is accessible through Q2UA.
Not yet. No, Yah Storehouse is accessible through. You could go to Minister Rick Fletcher, Pastor Rick Fletcher.
Okay.
And his site. He's associated with Yah Storehouse, but we're all making discussions to unite, right? Because we want to be able to handle bigger givings, right? Because we're going to have a lot more people, right? As you saw with the AI and the loss of jobs that's coming and stuff like that, we're going to need a bigger givers, right? For those who are able to. So Yah Storehouse is doing what they can within their means. And so now we're going to be working with Yah Storehouse and associating with Q2UA since they're 501c3. All right. So All right, thank.
Well, I don't need to take any
Brother
more of your
Karras.
time. I don't need to take any more of your time. That's great work. I got to do my research and hook up with the people that are doing the work. Thank you.
Yeah, and send an email to me and Brother Karras if you want to work with us on that behind the scenes. So
Okay, I expect it. I'll send it in. God
all
bless.
right,
Y'all
thanks,
bless.
Minister Rick. All right, Brother Doug.
How we doing there, folks? It is
What's
a
up?
pleasure. What's up? How you doing? Can you hear me? I got
Sound good.
I got booted off here. I'm parked on my cell phone, and if I'm to understand, the question is: Are we approaching World War III? Are we approaching World War III? Well, I look at a convergence of events that seem to be happening all at the same time, all simultaneously. We got Venezuela is getting interesting. I don't know how many people know about Venezuela and its close connection to Russia, its connection to China. Venezuela has been manufacturing AK-47s for years. They've been getting support, weapons support from Russia for years. The topography of that landscape is not friendly to the American battle experience, which has been flatlands. And on several occasions, it has been said that if America decides to go into Venezuela to grab that oil, they are in for the shock of their American lives. That's first. So we look now at Ukraine, which is winning battles against Russia, being supplied weapons by the European Union, by NATO. That seems to be, just taking off. Then we go over to China, and the Chinese president is just itching, just chomping at the bit, ready to go at Taiwan, because they have to have those semiconductors. They have to have that semiconductor production to sustain them, because they're going through economic turmoil and all these different things. And you top all that off by this country being led by a feckless idiot, an individual going through every length known to man to conceal his pedophilic proclivities. And that in itself is just the tip of the iceberg of what he's trying to conceal, because what he's trying to conceal are the proclivities of Western American white males, which, delve into, the bartering of all sorts of things, drugs, clandestine money movement, trying to hide dirty money, trying to trade in organs on the black market, trying to trade in children, trying to trade in all these different things. And when you say, are we going to World War III? I think the shots of World War III, someone is pulling back on the hammer as we speak. I think fingers are coming off the straight line and approaching the trigger. And it could be anything, Brother Yacoba, which is really the most frightening aspect, because World War III can jump off with any number of occurrences, with anything, that just happens to be out of line at the wrong time, at the right time, and we're in it. And I commend you for taking all the steps that you take in trying to prepare Negroes, prepare Hebrews for some sort of movement toward escape. I just wonder if the door closes and the bombs start flying, how much maneuverability will we have? How much of a window, and when will that window close? The door will be shut, and we'll have to leave through that window as the house burns down. And what's most disturbing is that we're going to be, while this house is burning down, we're going to have so many Negroes trying to make beds. And we're going to lose a lot of Negroes to making beds. because there are so many foundational Black Americans, as Brother Karras has had to deal with in this whole thing, that want to make a stand, stay here, feel that the contributions of their ancestors truly make a difference in the eyes of these right-wing white nationalists. I'm out here in Phoenix. I've taken a few of these folks to the to that soiree they had out here, the American, whatever it's called, Turning Point America. I took a few of them to that, and with Nicki Minaj showing up, it really goes to show that we have some non-thinking Negroes here, and I'm just wondering what they'll do to sabotage your efforts. I think that's something you have to worry about as well. Those infiltrators, those agents.
Oh yeah.
That you may not know about, brother. Those and I feel
there's a lot of them too.
And there's a lot of them, brother. There are brothers and sisters who wear the Confederate flag like a badge of honor, and the sentiment that goes along with the supporting of the white establishment and everything that makes it grow. And they've been convinced that if they simply toss their hat into the ring of their madness, they will somehow be spared. Can you believe that? I mean, you want to be in such close proximity to whiteness that you've guzzled the Kool-Aid, the con man telling you as the masks come off, as JD Vance tells white folks that they don't have to apologize for being white people anymore. I mean, World War III may be a relief in some respect, because finally it'll get going.
If we make it out alive.
If we make it out alive, you understand my point? Because the moves that are being made. So when you ask, is World War III, are we right around the corner? Brother, you give 2030, I'm looking at 2026 with a side eye.
I'm not saying it's not starting by 2026. I'm saying 2030 for everything to be complete.
Yes. But it seems that we're limping into 2026. We're trying to make it before something jumps off, because this boy Trump, I think he'll set the world on fire to keep his secrets. And just to give you a heads up, it's not just Trump and his proclivities and his association with children and child rape and pedophilia. It's everything underneath that iceberg that we don't see. It's everything that's held together. These individuals, Pam Bondi and the like, have been playing this game of cover the rich white man's ass for years. Excuse my language. And it would really be ironic that the start of World War III hinges diametrically on the maintaining of the secrets of these white Western men who want to do all sorts of horrible things and hide their money. And I don't know, man. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
So Pierre has a question for you, but before I get there, Brother Doug, let me ask Brother Robert, because I know you've been waiting. Brother Robert, do you want to talk, or would you let Pierre ask his question to Brother Doug?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So do you mind if Pierre asks his question, or do you want to go first and then come back around?
Let Pierre ask his question.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Pierre, go ahead. Ask your question to Brother Doug. Pierre, you there? Hello? Going once. Is this the wrong connection, Pierre? Because I know you had logged in twice. Let's see. He texting. Okay, there you go. Yes. We don't hear you. He's texting in there.
Can you hear me?
But we don't hear. Yeah, go ahead. We hear you now.
Okay. I'm sorry. So Brother Doug, this is what I wanted to bring to you, Brother Yacoba. In my opinion, the big picture of all of what's going on, I think that a lot of these nations, including the AES, the BRICS, they are rejecting the central banking system and being held hostage by a group of people that wear the little small hats that's controlling the U.S. Libya has Gaddafi's sons are back in power, and they are now putting pressure on France and the NATO nations to return their gold reserves. So, Brother Yacoba, Brother Doug, and Brother Robert, and the rest of y'all in the chat, what do y'all think about that statement right there as to why this is all coming to a head at this moment with the AES and Venezuela and the way the U.S. is acting? And I appreciate you letting me back on. That's what I wanted to ask you, Brother Yacoba. And you can take me off now. I'll just listen.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Doug. I'll let you answer that. Then I'll let
Well,
Brother Robert answer it.
when I look at the resurgence of Gaddafi's children, and I had heard about him coming back and the rejection of the of basically IMF and the universal banking system, small hats are put in play. Any challenge to that banking system is a trigger to war almost immediately. You can see what they did to Gaddafi. We came, we saw, he died, she laughed. So if that could actually be pivotal in the creation of a conflict scenario, if you couple that with it's a petrodollar. That's what we're talking about, a petrodollar. So if we got Trump going toward Venezuela to grab that oil, which is what he's trying to do, the largest reserves, on the planet, deep as they may be, any threat to the small hats' control of the monetary systems of this planet, I have a very good point and good insight. I think that would almost immediately push the go button of conflict. But we're so close in every respect to just having it just jump off. As we speak, it could jump off. But if you're asking me, is Gaddafi's children resurging and the threat to the Judaistic monetary fund something that could accelerate the push toward war? It could move it at lightning speed, and we're in it. And really, what you have to ask yourself is not just the shots fired, but what kind of shots, if you will. Are we going to maintain a conventionality to the war footing, or are they just going to, just throw off the mother of all bombs and wipe out 1 million people at one moment? That's the fear. And then what infrastructure will be left after all of this jumps off? It's the acceleration that most concerns me. And really, if I can get personal, just to, that gives me an indication of just how far and how fast I go to ground, and then the steps I take toward getting out of here. Because let me tell you something, brother. I'm going to tell you straight up. I mean, there are no lengths. I have the capability of doing a number of things, and that measure will be determined on what cataclysmic event might cause my movement. And in lightning speed, I'll be over there side-eyeing everybody. Brother Karras talking about they don't trust us. I don't trust a single one of them. And before you know it, I'll be there in their face, and they ask me what my problem is, and then I'll have a whole new set of issues I got to deal with. So to answer your question, any threat toward their establishment of control of the financial system of this globe, oh my God. And if they think that Negroes and the African Union are making a move toward separating themselves or challenging that structure, that infrastructure, that behemoth, oh, brother, look, Brother Yacoba, what do you think, what are the prospects of them simply just taking the safety off and just nuking Africa and to hell with the resources? I mean,
they can't do that because they can't survive without the resources. Now, if they got some you know, some kind of biological where they could take off the humans and not kill animals and stuff, they'll probably do that. But
Exactly.
they're not
So
gonna
these
give up.
Yeah. So I mean, and you got to realize we're dealing with some sinister people, folks. I've done the research. Brother Yacoba, God bless him, and his brother Tael has done the research. We're dealing with straight demons. These people haven't even shown their hand. These people don't.
Oh yeah.
You think what we're looking at Gaza is bad? Let me tell you something, man. These people haven't even begun to show you the monstrosity that they possess. This ain't
They're the most
nothing,
wicked
man.
people on the planet, man.
These
They're the most
people
wicked.
are-
I don't think there's anybody worse.
I don't think there's anybody worse. That's a very good statement, brother. And I'll close telling you this. You know, whether you are here, whether you are blessed to be over in the continent, until the Creator, until Yahuwah, until God Almighty makes a showing and puts an end to this humongous foulness these people have taken centuries to build. I won't relax until God Almighty shows up. Everything is suspect until God Almighty shows up, because there's no lengths they'll go to stamp us out. And any progress that we make, they'll infiltrate. There's spies everywhere, and I don't trust anybody.
I agree. And
Thank
look,
you so
let me
much.
just say, if
Yeah.
the shoe don't fit, we're not talking about you. If the shoe fit, then we're talking
That's
about
right.
you.
That's right. Don't take it personal, because look, man. Listen. You got to inspect what you expect, because they're all suspect.
Exactly.
I land there. Thank you, brother. I'm gonna get back on the road.
Thank you, Brother Doug. Brother Robert.
How you doing?
Hey, my brother. Thanks for being patient.
Okay. What I want to do without being long-winded, I want to bring forth a new element. I want to throw a wrench into the whole thing. Yes, I do believe we're in World War III, but I also believe that the timing is all off. Now, I took time to Google by going to Ethiopia yesterday. What time are we really in? Not the Gregorian calendar, but by their calendar. Well, 2026 equals 2019. You should have light bulbs going off.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same discussion when it was 2012 in Ethiopia, right?
Yes. But I'll just put it this way. The Y and T people have changed everything. So, and they also messed up time. So,
Yeah.
well, if you look at it like that, we're just getting ready to enter the 400 years at 2019, according to the
Julian calendar.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
See, yeah, now your light bulb's going off. Now your light bulb's going off. It went off on me yesterday when I looked it up. I went, oh my God, 2026 is 2019? Oh my God. So we're not late. See, all of us, because of the messed up calendar, was thinking he's late. No, God ain't never late. He's always on time. So
that would be interesting. That
yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind when you start doing your calculations and stuff. Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up, and you got a lot of followers, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I figured, hey, this would be good for the body. Let's bring this out, because
that would be perfect. Huh?
Ethiopia, we still on time. We're getting out of here. We ain't behind time. So that's all I had to bring forth, Jacoba. And thank you for having me on.
Thank you for your insight, Brother Robert. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Well, fam, interesting times. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. We're gonna see who's right, who's wrong, and I think we are in for some major changes. And as we were talking earlier with Brother Karras, that's why we're talking behind the scenes about how we can help the family, right? Because it's getting harder and harder for our people, and ain't nobody gonna help us but us. And so we're doing things behind the scenes so that we can be of a benefit. And with that stated, also here's one of our followers. Her name is Jakira. She has 8 children, right? She says, my name is Jakira and I'm a single mom raising 8 wonderful children on my own. 2 years ago, my husband was incarcerated, and since then I've been doing everything I can to keep our family together and moving forward. We recently moved to a new area hoping for a fresh start, but the transition has been incredibly tough. During the move, we lost all our furniture due to mice infestation, and both of our SUVs could not make the journey, leaving us without transportation. I've always worked hard to provide for my family, but these past few months have been especially difficult. Without a vehicle, it's been nearly impossible to get to work to take care of daily needs for my family. We're making do with what we have, but it's been a real struggle to make ends meet and create a comfortable home for my kids. I'm reaching out for help so I can replace our furniture and get a reliable vehicle. With your support, I'll be able to return to work and give my children the stability and opportunities they deserve. So just think about it. She has 8 kids that she has to support, and she still found the time to give to this ministry, right? So we definitely need to help out. And once we have things set up with the relationship with y'all Storehouse and QTUA, we'll give y'all more feedback on that. It's better. So if y'all can, family, go over there, help our sister out, and pray for the family, and pray for yourself and for this ministry, because in my opinion, we're in for difficult times. But I also do believe that it's the banner that is raised, which denotes war, but it's also tied to that gift being restored, right, to Mount Zion. Is tied to our exodus. Is tied to us returning back to the land we were taken from. So I think we're really close. I really do. Like I said, I try not to be pessimistic, but basically I just watch the signs of the times and I look at the politics and what's going on. Somebody say no sound. Can y'all hear me? Give me a 1 if y'all can hear me. Give me a 2 if you can't. That seems to happen every show. I don't know. All right. Somebody say your audio clipped out. Okay. Y'all hear me, right? Okay. Yes. Now. All right. Cool. I don't know what happened. Sometimes, I got this set up. I don't know. I tried to work with different setups and I have to keep redoing stuff and go back to the basics. But anyway, like I was saying, all we have is each other. And all we can do is help each other. And, the Bible says that they will know you are my disciples by the love you have one for another, right? And that's what we try to do at this ministry. We try not to be hypocrites, right? We try to do what we say. And, of course, you can't help everybody, right? So, usually the ones who support you support first, right? That's just fair. But as we move forward, and we get things straight with Yah Storehouse and with QTUA, and, there's really going to be the need for increased giving, right? Because understand, you will be giving even for yourself, right? Because it's a storehouse, right? And just like with Joseph, you knew the famine was coming, and Joseph had to put away all of that wheat. And we know the famine is coming, right? No jobs, right? AI is taking over everything. Universal basic income, digital ID, right? So all we have is each other. Now, the Most High, he uses us, right? And if family don't take care of family, that's hypocrisy in my opinion, right? That's why I have a problem with the FBAs. I have a problem with the Native American, well, many reasons for them pretendians, right? Anyway, I digress. But I think we should always be family focused, right? And that's Negro focused. That's Israelite focused. Yes, you won't call it skin doctrine. I'm going to call it skin doctrine, right? Because my family black, okay? And I'm going to put my family first, right? I'm going to put Israelites first. I'm going to put Ezra Alawi first. I'm going to put Negroes first. I'm going to put descendants of slaves first. That's just the way it is. And if you got a problem with it, turn away. Okay? That's just the way it is. I'm going to put my people first. I'm not stupid. You're not going to gaslight me. Okay? Put up the GoFundMe. Isn't the GoFundMe pinned? Isn't it pinned at the top? It's pinned. Is it not working? Let me see. Let me test that link. Let's see. Yeah, the link working in the pin. Right? Okay, I see it now. You say, okay, cool. All right, fam, that's all I got. Hopefully y'all got a lot from this. If you want to support this ministry, we're trying to do a lot of things. We appreciate it, right? You can give Cash App, $TOTW7101. You can go to tailministries.com, click on the donations tab. There's other avenues for giving. And also, as I mentioned, if you can, support our sister Jakira Jones and her 8 beautiful children. And, that stuff we got to do, right? We got to love on each other. And I refuse to be a hypocrite, and I refuse to be like other people who, smile in your face and stab you in the back. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place to back. Let me stop. I just felt it, family. But that's all I got. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah. Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the True Jerusalem, the lost kingdoms of the Israelites, the groundbreaking work by me, Yaakov Vale, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia. With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land. Why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Yaakov Vale's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to a hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey to the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem.